levantaré mi bandera, estando en mi país o estando allá afuera, porque para mí, mira, no existen fronteras. Yo levantaré mi bandera, wow. Levantaré mi bandera, estando en mi país o estando allá afuera, porque para mí, mira, no existen fronteras. No, no, y es que hay mucho sentimiento, lo grito al viento, de ser latino nunca me arrepiento. Lo digo desde la Suiza, centroamericana, rebota en Colombia y en Dominicana y yo.
Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of I Choose to Be Healthy. I am Rafael, the Latin Babbler. I am here with Izell Munoz, the registered and certified nutritionist and dietitian. And we are going to be actually talking about the replan. So we've done 2 weeks of the menu that she provided the first time. We've actually talked about health awareness with Ryan last week. And so this week, we're actually going to be talking about what meals are going to be good for me and planning forward. So Izell, go ahead and take it away.
Alrighty. So before we do that, I do want to kind of check in with you and see how these last 2 weeks went with your meal plan. How did it go?
Very good from a kind of like, because I might not look it, but I'm like a military guy. So for me, like having the pre-planned meals and having that structure actually worked really well. Obviously, it helped a lot too that my son was cooking these meals while I was working. But the first week went really well. So for instance, I was like not hungry during that. As a matter of fact, I felt like I was eating a lot. Almost like, you know, when you're like eating all day, it just feels like you woke up, you did something, you ate, this is something you ate, then you ate, and then you ate again.
Yeah.
And then using the same meal plan this week for whatever reason, and I know that it's probably been my mind and my body trying to readjust, or maybe like you were saying, maybe my metabolism's kind of running a little higher because of the way I was eating. I just felt like my body was always craving. I don't know how to describe that. Like, no matter what I ate, it just seemed like I wanted more of anything. It doesn't matter. If I saw it, I wanted to eat it, like leftovers. And lucky for us, we don't have a lot of leftovers. But yeah, it just seemed like I was trying to constantly curve the craving.
Okay. So this week, were you having a little more stress compared to the previous week?
I don't know. Actually, I would have to say no. I mean, yeah, we didn't record as much this past week as we did the week before. So I didn't really have a lot more to do. What I did notice is that the difference between the 2 weeks is I wake up at 4:30. So my son was waking up early with me, and I started my meals like earlier in the day because I woke up earlier.
I see.
So maybe that has something to do with it, but I don't know if that was like the defining factor. I just know that by the time, I was done with breakfast, I was okay. By the time I was done with the snack, I was getting like cravings, lunch. I was trying to like almost wait for lunch. You have that like sensation of like, okay, when's lunch? Because like I'm hungry. I was having that kind of sensation. The same thing with the meals that are going along the way. So that's what I was running into a lot this week.
Well, and then we did
that is the only change in schedule.
Yeah, the change in schedule, and then we changed some of your breakfast items as well. So you did have
That's
like
true. That's
your
true.
So I was considering too that when we plan these next 2 weeks, we could also implement again something with a little more protein or a whole grain to help to keep you a little more fuller. So again, because your body's basically going into a new metabolic adaptation. So that's why you start to feel these cravings and fluctuations. So that's why I have you do the 2 weeks of your meal plan. That way we can see, okay, is he in the right, going in the right steps. So that's a good sign. We do want to see the changes that are occurring, because then that helps me to understand that your body needs, might need a little more protein at this point in time, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So that only helps me to help you in the long term.
Yeah. And I've actually noticed that for whatever reason, my body feels like it's on high energy. So I wake up with a lot more energy. I go to sleep. I notice now that the reason I'm not getting the sleep that I'm getting is because on the days that I end a day working and I have all of these things in my head, I automatically stay up. Like I just feel like, oh, I got to get it done. I got to, get all this stuff. And so I'm constantly looking at what are ways to do that. And then on days that I kind of sit back at like 7:00 and just kind of shut down for the rest of the day, I notice that I go to sleep better and I stay in sleep longer. So, but I did tell that to my son. I was like, oh my goodness, this has got to be something with the metabolism, because I feel like I'm just constantly running inside and like it needs to feed like a lion or something. It's just weird.
Well, that's how we should be. One thing I wanted to mention to you the other week was when people, get on such low calorie diets, their body almost goes into that starvation mode. And so one of the ways that it was discussed with us in school, and it's very oversimplified, but it's basically telling us that our bodies were, for scientific purposes, we were cavemen, right? So as a caveman, what did we have to do? We had to hunt for our food. So we'd hunt for our food, gather, get it ready, and we'd eat it. And then maybe 2 or 3 days would pass and we wouldn't have any food. So our body has to store and conserve everything that it can in order for us to survive. And so when we are so used to going, especially with diet culture, we go into these super low calorie diets and, all those fad diets that are out there, that can actually slow down the process. You decrease your energy. It can change up your whole body's processes, and you increase your cravings. So for someone who's trying to lose weight, it's not always the most beneficial to be on such low calorie diets. And I feel like that might have been something you might have experienced in the past. And so that's why I wanted to give you that meal plan of eating constantly, because that's helping your body, again, in that metabolic adaptation of speeding through, letting your body know like, hey, I'm going to feed you. Don't worry, burn through this, versus your body not knowing when the next meal is going to be and holding on to everything. And it's like, well, I don't know if Raphael's going to give me a meal, so let me hold this.
Yeah.
Because your body has to.
So it's going to store it.
So that could be.
I mean, at this point, I feel like I should probably start hunting for stuff.
Don't go into that.
It felt that way. I felt like I wanted to grab a spear and then just go after something. Like it was just one of those weird feelings. I don't know how to explain it. And for everybody listening, they're probably like, "Whoa, what is wrong with this guy?" No, it's it's just one of those things. I'm just like, I noticed the difference between the 2 weeks. Now I did start incorporating exercising like towards the end of that, towards the beginning and the middle of that week. So maybe that was another thing. Definitely. Is since I was, going for my 30, 40 minutes, that it was probably, I'm burning a lot more energy than I was when I was just stagnant when we originally created the meal.
So that would have been good for me to know. That way I would have either put in an extra snack for you or increased your serving size on some of your foods. So if you plan to do that, then we can definitely implement that. Because again, you're burning more calories if you're exercising. So you still need your nutrients. You don't want your body to think you're in starvation mode. So
okay. So yeah, I guess and for anybody who's, listening, it's probably a good idea to tell her that you're working out or decided to work out.
And again, that's why
might be a good idea,
Yeah. We use the app, guys. That way we can keep in touch. So I do have some other questions for you. So as far as the goals,
the water intake has not been bad. As a matter of fact, that's what I was using to kind of like counter the craving. So I've been drinking a lot, like, using a lot of that Milo, whether it was tea or whether it was like coffee. Like I've been trying to do a lot to kind of beat the crave, so to speak, because at one point it was just like I think I went through 3 bottles probably in a matter of like 2 hours because I was just trying to like constantly feel full.
So yeah, I think
I was trying to think there's something wrong with me.
No. I think definitely the exercise, the timing of your meal had that effect. Because again, if you're so used to having like a set meal pattern of timing of when you're eating, your body is hungry on that exactly at that time.
It was.
So it's really important that, we pay attention to those hunger cues. We don't want to be to that point where we're like hangry, like I'm ready to eat everything in sight. If you start to lick your lips, you feel your salivation, you're like, all right, I think I'm hungry now. That's when you want to go ahead and eat, because then you're more mindful of your portions. You're not in that, again, like starvation mode where I need to eat everything in sight. So it's just, again, being mindful of that timing. So I think that has a lot to do with this week that you had. Yeah. And so you said that you did try the water enhancers, the ones that I sent you.
Yeah, I actually like it. So the one that I got was the Neo Energy. Maybe that's not a good idea. I just realized it has caffeine and vitamins. So I'm over here just boosting all kinds of the stuff, and I don't realize but I got that one, and that one actually tasted really good. So I just kind of use that for the majority of those drinks. I feel guilty when I do it because it like tastes really good. So I don't know if I'm putting too much in it, but it says 0 calories.
It's again, it's just a flavor enhancer just to help those of us who don't really like water. It's a good way to implement it into your routine.
Yeah.
So I want to get into again, now let's start planning your meals by I want you to do it by yourself. Okay. So one of the easiest things that you can do in order to plan out your meals is take your plate. So regular 9-inch plate, not the big old plates, the regular 9-inch, and pretend there's like an imaginary line in between your plate. Okay. And actually, I can just draw it out for you. That'll be easier. So in your plate, you're going to draw a line in half, just like this. Okay. And so 1/2 of your plate is going to be vegetables. Okay. And then we're going to do
1/2. Okay.
So 1/2 vegetables. And then we're going to do
1/2 of a 9-inch plant veggies. All right.
And the other 1/4, and the other 1/4 is going to be your proteins.
Protein, I'm assuming?
And your grains. And so that's the structure that I want you to use for when you're preparing your meals.
What? So can you give me an example of
yes, definitely. So I will be emailing you
the quarter protein and the quarter grain would be?
And that's just a quarter of the plate. So I'm going to actually provide to you a list of like different foods that you can choose from after we're done. And so a quarter of your plate would be like the palm size piece of chicken or beef. Or you can do like a half a cup of beans. And then for your grains, I want you to try to choose as much as you can, like your whole grains. So that's like whole wheat bread, whole wheat pasta, brown rice, quinoa, things like that. Because of the fiber, it helps to keep you fuller. And then you're actually getting way more nutrients out of those grains versus like white pasta, white bread, things like that. And so when we have more fiber, that helps to keep us full. And when we balance it out with protein, that's what also helps to keep us full. So a portion of like a grain would be...
So it's got to be brown rice?
It doesn't have to, but I would prefer. Do you not like brown rice? No. Do you like your quinoa?
Not a fan.
Not the quinoa either?
The quinoa I've enjoyed.
Okay. So
the quinoa has been good. Okay. I might try like a whole bread or something like that. Are you talking about a roll or how does that work?
Again, like, so let's see. I'll give you an example. So what's one of your favorite dishes?
God, that's an interesting. I would probably say like a pork chop with some rice and beans. That is en tostones. That would be the ultimate Puerto Rican Dominican dish.
Okay. So then again, your pork chop, you would want to try to purchase like the leaner option. So that would be your protein dish.
Yeah.
And then your grain, because it is a higher carb meal, the tostones, the rice and the beans. You could potentially do like a small portion of the tostones, the rice and the beans as your like grain section. So that 1/4. So you would put it in your plate.
Yeah.
Right here. That's your plate.
So, I'm not gonna lie. Just to joke around, I was just thinking like, okay, I can only fit it on this 1/4 plate. But how high can I stack this sucker? Because as long as it fits in that quarter, I'm good. I'm just kidding.
We don't want it to be stacked.
That would be hilarious. Yeah, right.
So make it like a spoonful.
It's like one part of the plate is just going straight up. Yeah, that's hilarious.
And then again, you would choose some kind of vegetable if you wanted to have like a side salad or something like that. Because again, it's really about being able to have those foods that you enjoy and being mindful of your portion. So it's not to say that these foods are not healthy for you or you shouldn't eat them at all. Because again, that's like a cultural food. So you want to be able to implement that into your meals. Granted, you would want, on a normal basis, you would want that whole plate to be all of that food. But again, we want you to become mindful of portions. So that's why I'm saying, like, you can include it. That can definitely be okay. But I want you to have some vegetables with it too. And I want you to choose a lean protein, a lean.
Yeah. And
okay. So.
And I'll obviously look, I mean, since the beginning, I've been trying my best to kind of stick to the program. And, obviously the app makes you very accountable because you got to like send everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll continue that with this. It's not like I'm going to turn around and, I joke around, but it's not like I'm going to turn around and start putting all kinds of crazy stuff on there.
I know. You've been doing really good. You have been so far a great patient to work with. So I can't complain at all. So I wanted to talk to you again about these planning your plate. So this would be at all your meal times that you would plan your plate like this. Okay, so that would be meals.
Oh, okay.
Your snacks, right. I want you to choose something with protein and something with fiber. And so again, I'm going to send you these lists where you're going to be able to see your foods options, things like that. And so to give an example, even on your meal plan, like you had your apple and your yogurt. That's fiber from your apple and protein from your yogurt. Or, we have the rice cakes. So you have your fiber.
Those are so good.
I know, they're my favorite. Those are my late night snacks. You have your fiber from your rice cake, and then fiber from the nuts, and then you have protein from the nuts. So you're getting a good portion of protein and fiber. So anytime you have a snack, that's how you want to balance it. Protein and fiber, just to help you keep full till your next meal. Because again, I don't want you to wait like 6-8 hours to have your next meal. I want you to be still on that same kind of meal pattern that we had with the meal plan. So that'll be sent to you as well. And then any special occasions, anything this week that's happening that you're thinking like, oh, I might go out to eat or anything like that.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of, and that will depend on availability for some people. So, for instance, I might go to San Diego on Saturday to visit Gariel's tobacco store. I don't smoke or anything, but it's just to probably get some gifts and to support.
Yeah.
If he's there, we might do something. So like lunch or something like that.
Of course.
So that might, but I mean, that technically doesn't fall within the Monday through Friday meal that we normally do. So, but that's just letting you know that that's one of the things that we might be doing, or at least that I'll be doing with my family if he's unavailable for that weekend.
Okay, good. And I always ask those questions just because it's important to be mindful of, again, if you know you're going to be out and about or you're going to be on a vacation, just really fine-tuning the week as much as you can and remembering that it's okay to have that, that fun meal that you're going to eat, but the other meals, try to keep it on track. And that way you don't fall completely off of your progress, because that's where people will take that 80-20 rule. It's like, oh, I'm doing good those 5 days a week, and then the weekend's like party time. Let me have whatever I want to eat. Again, that can mess with the progress that you're trying to establish. So, again, try to do it as much as you can this week, Monday through Friday, and then also start to plan for the weekend meals as well, where you're not, again, overindulging too much.
Yeah, and we've been doing that. So, like on Saturday and Sunday, we haven't been, like, I haven't used it as we're off the meal plan. It's time to, go all out. Like, we haven't done that. So I continued, even though we don't have meals technically for the
weekend,
the Saturday and the Sunday. My son has created meals that have been kind of healthy within the same scope of what we were doing throughout the week. The only difference is because it's not the actual scheduled meals. He'll make them to where the entire family can do it. So it'll be something like, broccoli with chicken and things like that. So, but I will say this, how do I prepare? So for instance, like next Saturday, if I decide to go next Saturday and say, you know what, I want to go to Hodad's, which is one of the biggest burger joints in the world. How would I prepare for that throughout this week to where that Saturday, after if I decide to eat that and I'm in a food coma for the rest of the week, how do I prepare for that?
That's a great,
in the week scope. Is it just eat healthy as normal, or is it like cut back in certain areas? Like, how do I do that?
Yeah, I don't want you to cut back. Again, I want you to still eat how you normally eat, same meal pattern that you're having. Maybe that day you're going to have maybe more veggies for breakfast, maybe less of your, bread or whatever grain you choose. And then even like for dinner, because, like I really want that burger. So the meals, that's where I'm going to structure it a little more. But I wouldn't say like, you're going to skip meals or you're going to cut out snacks or anything like that. Because again, your body is in that metabolic adaptation. So it still needs to be fed and nourished. You need as much nutrients and energy as you can get for your everyday, whatever your everyday needs. So that day specifically, that's when you're going to plan more for. Okay. And then, plan to do.
So everything around that day.
Yeah, everything around that day. So even, your water intake. So if like, okay, I want, a small portion of whatever sweet drink, I'm going to have water the rest of the day, just so I can, have that meal without feeling guilty or anything like that. Because again, like I told you before, I'm very much one of those dietitians that I believe all food can fit, because the more you restrict, then you end up overindulging. So it's okay to have those meals. But again, I also want you to be mindful of the portions, and it's not going to be, I'm going to have it every single meal because I'm out, I'm on vacation. Again, just because I don't want you to, deviate from your progress that you've already made. Yeah,
for sure. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So, Emil, if you never had a Hodad burger, you don't have a meal afterwards. I mean, there's just... You're pretty much in a state of just like pure guilt. It's one of the biggest meals you can possibly have. After that, you feel like you've killed someone.
Oh God.
That type of guilt. You're just like, oh, why did I do this? So yeah, but go Hodad's, Ocean City. Got to try it. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can always look at the menu.
There's a spot
to see if there's anything that's a little, a little more healthier.
There isn't.
Substitutes. There isn't.
There really is.
Okay.
Izell, this is a burger that's like this high, and it's got like, there isn't. There is just, it's a suicide burger.
Okay.
I mean, it's a heart attack on a plate.
Okay.
So yeah.
So then again, you also
I'm just letting you know. We might not get to number 5.
you also just want to be mindful too, like while you're eating, really think about like, okay, am I full off of this, or am I eating it just because it's still here?
Very true.
Because again, if it's a huge burger, cut it in half, ask for a box while, before you even eat it, put it away, put your portion away, and then you can have that the next day if you wanted to. And that way you balance out that day too.
Okay.
So that's always an option too. Because I've seen some of those crazy burgers that are just massive, and so I want you to really be mindful again while you're eating, how full you are, how you're feeling. Also, just pay attention to like your overall gut, because again, you haven't been eating as much of those foods. You might feel a difference when you're eating them. You might feel fuller. You might get bloated.
That is true.
Things like that. So definitely
might get sick.
You could potentially get sick. So let's hope not. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But again, those are options. Cut it in half. Save it for later. Share it with somebody if you wanted to. Those are always options too. So I think you'll be okay. But just be mindful. Pay attention to your body.
We shall see. We shall see.
All right. So as far as your meals go, what are some foods you think you're going to want this week? What are some meals? Some breakfasts?
I mean, I was curious about, like, for instance, the Wheaties that I normally had with the milk. Is that a possibility? Do I need to change maybe the milk? I'm not a fan of almond milk with cereal. It just tastes gross. So, like, what's the alternative to that? To be able to incorporate something like that on it, because like sometimes my son isn't able to wake up in time because of the 4:30.
Okay.
So it's just easier to grab a bowl of like Wheaties or something like that.
Are these the Wheaties that have like the sugar coat, or just plain?
The Wheaties, the one from, the Wheaties box, the regular. I don't know if it has sugar coat on it. So
yeah, I think they're regular. So yeah, that's totally fine. The Wheaties with the, you can do your milk, if you want to do 1% milk. Because again, that is a high.
So 1%. Okay.
Yeah, that has the protein in it. Or you can even eat it with like Greek yogurt if you wanted to. Definitely, I would say add a fruit, or like maybe like have a fruit on the side, a little fruit bowl, so you get even more fiber.
Okay.
Okay. So again, even like with your breakfast, if you're taking this plate method, you can do like, okay, I'm gonna have a small portion of fruit as your half plate, and then you have your protein with your milk, and then your grain would be your Wheaties. So every time you're eating, you're having as much as you can, the nutrients. We want to nourish your body with every meal. So that would definitely be a balanced meal. So I would say just add some extra fruits. I know like before you were putting banana. So maybe have like some blueberries or another side fruit that you want. That would be good.
Now, are you saying with that breakfast?
Like you can have it on the side or with.
So just put like the fruit. No, I just put it on the top. So like for me, it's probably easier to just throw it in the cereal. And
put some.
Because I love bananas in my cereal. Like I'm a huge banana person.
Same here. I love my cornflakes and banana. Let's see, Wheaties, banana, milk, and then again, I would want you to add like some kind of berry, just to increase some fiber. Okay. So that's a good breakfast.
Ironically enough, I've gotten attached to blueberries. Blueberries seem to, and I wasn't a big blueberry fan, but for some reason this week, maybe I don't know if it's the ones he's purchasing or something, but they've actually been really good. So.
Good. Awesome. And then, how do you feel about your omelets?
Oh, I love the omelet. Yeah, the omelets was a tremendously better substitute for those pancakes.
Okay, so you have the omelet. So you could always do like an omelet again, during the week. You could do the
Yeah.
little egg muffins again and switch up the veggies if you wanted to do that, like if that's easier because they're already made. So that would be another breakfast. Let's think of one more breakfast that you might want to eat this week.
I mean, to be very honest, those are the most part, because I normally eat like my breakfast on the run anyway. So if I'm able to have just something that I can put fast in a bowl
Okay.
after I get up, then it's actually easier than that. I'm not a big fan of the only time I actually liked it is when my son made it, the oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
I guess he made it differently than what I would normally make. So I don't know if there's an alternative to the type of oatmeal that I have to get or something like that, just so that I can, because I'm assuming the ones that come in those packages are like full of sugar. So that's why we don't use those.
Yeah, they do have the regular, like plain old-fashioned ones that are like instant. That could be an option.
Yeah.
That's easier for you.
Okay. So that might be something that I go with.
Yeah. Did you try the oatmeal shake from the meal plan? I can't remember.
Yeah, actually, the oatmeal shake was really good.
Okay.
So I enjoyed that. That was really good.
You always do something like that, and again, change up the fruits if you don't want the same kind of fruits that are in there.
Okay.
So let's see, maybe. So with the oatmeal, so whether you do the oatmeal or the smoothie, again, we want it to be a balanced meal. So we're going to add your fruit of choice, and then add your protein of choice. So like in the oatmeal, you can always put peanut butter. You can put, or any of the nut butters. You can add yogurt to it. Some people like to put protein powder in the oatmeal, or if you make it as a shake, you can use your protein powder. So again, you want to have your grain, your fruit.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
And then the protein. Oatmeal with peanut butter is delicious. So you can always try that if you like peanut butter. Okay, so we have 3 breakfast choices, and then you have the meal plan also to fall back on. So if you want to try any of those again,
yeah,
you're more than welcome to. So you have your Wheaties, which is your grain, your banana, and your berries, which is going to be your half plate of your fruits, and then your milk is your protein. Your omelet is your protein, and then you're going to add veggies. So that's your half plate of veggies. So if you're not getting full with that one, you can add like a slice of whole wheat toast. And that could be an option. And it can be like the whole wheat English muffin, whole wheat toast. If you're not getting full with
but by that you mean one half, right? Like a half of one, not a whole one.
The English muffins? The small? Yeah. The whole one is fine. The whole one is fine. So you can eat
okay.
A little sandwich if you wanted to. So English muffin. And then we have your oatmeal. So that's your grain. We're going to add fruit to it. And then your protein of choice. Peanut butter, protein powder, yogurt. You can make it with the milk as well. And those are your proteins. So if you can see kind of the pattern, every time you're eating, you're having your protein, your whole grain, and then your fruits or vegetables, or both. Okay. So those will be your breakfasts. How about lunch? What are your usual go-tos for lunch? Or anything that you liked on the meal plan that you would maybe repeat again?
The stuff that I liked on the meal plan that I really enjoyed was the wraps. The wraps were really good.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember which was the bowl that he had shown me, or that he had given to me. What's that?
The salmon bowl or the burrito bowl?
I think it was the burrito bowl.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll tell you right now. Okay, so the lunches that the avocado tuna salad was really good.
Okay.
The kale Caesar salad wrap with grilled chicken, that was really good. The PF Chang's lettuce wraps. I mean, for the most part, lunch has been pretty good.
Okay.
And so has the Asian veggie chicken bowl. Those were pretty outstanding as far as like for lunch.
Good. Okay. And so you see in those meals, again, the pattern is your protein, your grain,
Yeah.
or all veggies, and then like a healthy fat. So that's, again, that would be the same kind of meal pattern that I want you to have for lunches. So for lunch,
Okay.
you can always do, again, you can do a different kind of wrap. Maybe you do like a tuna wrap if you like the tuna. You can do chicken avocado salad if you wanted to change it up. The bowls, again, you can do a different kind of burrito bowl where you're doing different veggies, a different grain, and a different protein. So maybe you wanted to do, if you want to do like shrimp, or if you wanted to do beef, that's an option as like a burrito bowl. So what do you feel that you might want this week for lunch?
I mean,
You're craving.
I kind of like the turkey and cheese sandwich.
Okay.
With like lettuce and tomatoes on like whole wheat with
Perfect.
maybe some grapes or something like that.
So whole wheat bread,
Like something with a side fruit.
turkey, cheese, tomato, lettuce, and then a side of fruit. Perfect. That's a great option. Again, you have your grains, your protein from your cheese and your turkey. And then you have your veggies, turkey and lettuce. Tomato and lettuce, and then your fruits.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfect. And what's another like go-to that you usually would eat before we came along?
The rest I can't have anyways, so it doesn't matter. So I mean, we would literally go to McDonald's and get the 2 for $3, hamburgers and stuff like that. So, and I'm trying to kind of stay away from that habit.
Okay.
Because I'm not very good at, I guess you can say I'm not very good at not going back to it.
Okay.
To those habits.
And that
so
comes
I just want to make sure that I'm not tempting myself,
Yeah, that definitely comes with time and practice of just being mindful. And again, the more you eat this way, you're not always able to handle all those foods that you would get before. And again, you get the upset stomach, bloating, or again, you get so full with the other meals that maybe you can't finish that whole portion that you used to. So that'll come with time.
My biggest issue is that I don't work out. I don't work out enough to being able to justify that kind of intake. So that's the biggest thing. So even now, like if I wanted to have a meal like that, like let's say I lose all this weight and I'm able to run and work out and stuff like that, I can risk doing that once or twice a week because I have the energy and the sustainability to be able to like burn it off. But since I'm so stagnant right now, it's almost impossible for me to eat a meal like that without, having it just sit there. And so that's why I don't want to put myself in a mindset of like going to this and then all of a sudden it's like a craving because it's like right there. It's literally 5-minute drive from my house. So it's like I think McDonald's is chasing me. Everywhere I go, there's one around the corner. So.
They're chasing all of us. Right? Well, again, with time, that'll come. And again, for any of the listeners that are out there, it's okay to have those foods, but it's also a matter of learning how you're going to balance it out. So it's like, again, you can have your burger. Maybe that day you're not going to have fries. You're going to have a side salad, or that you're going to have your other meals that are really going to be healthy, or you're going to make sure you add tomato and lettuce. There's always ways to make those meals a little bit healthier. I've done it myself where I used to get a McDonald's. I'm like, man, there's no tomato, there's no onion in here. So I'll go home and cut it up and put it in my burger again, just to make it a little more healthier. I'm getting a little more nutrients out of it. So that's always an option. But again, that comes with time. So we will focus on that at a later date. So how about making a burger at home? Like a lunch burger?
I mean, if that's possible, I'll do that. I didn't do, obviously these meals don't include a lot of bread.
Mm-hmm.
So for instance, yesterday's dinner was the protein burger that had the fries, the sweet potato fries. And so I'm thinking that what I'm going to do is if there is a time where I feel like I'm like super hungry, instead of having more of the burger, I'll increase more of like the sweet potato fries. That's kind of like an alternative to that. At least I think that's the logic.
You could do either or. Again, because you're getting your protein. You just think about what you're getting out of that meal. So with that burger specifically, you're getting your protein and you're getting vitamins and minerals from the veggies as well. Getting calcium from the cheese. So with the sweet potatoes, you're getting your carbs, you're getting fiber, some vitamin A. Again, what's going to keep you more fuller? The protein. So you want to try
you're saying the meat.
You want to try to lean towards the protein choice if you're really not full with that. But again, like if you want to have a lunch burger, we can try it that way, where it's like now this time it's with bread, and see how that fills you up. But again, I would want you to choose a whole grain bread, the whole wheat bread, or they even have like the sandwich thins. That's an option too, if you feel like, okay, this is too much bread. So that could be a choice. But again, you would hold the fries. So we would balance it out. Okay. So you can do a burger at home if you want to you can do turkey, a beef. I've seen bison burgers, however you want to do them. But if you do beef, try to choose like the bison. Yeah. And so you want to try to choose a leaner cut of the beef if you do choose beef. So we'll put a burger, lunch burger, any other meal, anything else you can think of.
I mean, not really. I was pretty satisfied with the ones we had. So
okay, so they're pretty good.
I'm just trying to also minimize. Yeah, I'm just trying to minimize also the, like if for whatever reason somebody in the house gets busy, that I'm not relying into some of these meals that are like cooking heavy. Yeah. Like what's the alternative to something that's not, cooking heavy? So that's the biggest thing. Okay. So, yeah.
Okay. So then we have your lunches. How about dinners? Let's think of 3 dinners we can eat.
So I'm a big fan of the zesty sweet potato fries with the ranch burger. I think what I might do is probably increase the patty to like 2 patties.
Yeah, we can do that.
I am the salmon and quinoa avocado salad. That's a phenomenal dinner. Like I love salmon, so for me that's kind of huge.
Okay.
And let's see. I'm trying to think of what else.
Again, it doesn't have to be on
the meal. Chicken fajita bowl.
Or you like that one?
No, I'm giving the ones that I'm giving the ones that I enjoyed. Mm-hmm. So that way we know. And then like things that I would like to incorporate would be like the ones that I mentioned, to be able to have, like the rice and the beans or something like that, or at least some combination, maybe tostones with the pork chop or look, if there's a healthy way to make a pizza, like a single person pizza.
Yeah, a pita bread
type thing, that would be cool.
Have you ever tried?
So something of that, where I haven't tried a pita bread pizza, so but anything like that would kind of I guess you could say normalize the meal plan.
Okay.
At least mindset wise, not calorie wise, that would be kind of cool.
Okay. So definitely you can do a pita pizza. Those are super easy. They're done in like 10 minutes. So you just take your whole wheat pita bread, take your pizza sauce that you choose, or if you want to make your own, your cheese, and then what toppings do you usually put on your pizza?
I mean, they normally just do like the mozzarella or some type of thing like that with just a sauce. It's not like we go ham.
Okay.
So I think they've been doing like the margarita pizza or whatever that's called. The one that's just like the tomato sauce with or the margarita sauce with just like the cheese that they put on there. I think it's pure mozzarella.
So yeah, that can be an option. And then I would want you to have like, again, some kind of vegetables on the side, like a side salad that you guys have all together. So you can do your own individual pizzas. Just make sure it's the whole grain one or whole wheat. And it gets cooked super quick, 10 minutes, they're done because you're basically just melting the cheese. And then with the side salad. So that would be perfect. That would be a really good meal because you're getting, again, your grain, getting protein from your cheese, and then you're having your veggies. So that's really good.
Okay.
Salmon, again, salmon, you can cook it any way you like. You can choose a different kind of grain, maybe. I've seen, salmon with like pasta, like whole wheat pasta, and asparagus. So that could be one if you wanted to do that. Are you a pasta person or no?
I like it. I was not a fan of the green pasta. That tasted like we were eating branches. It was just really weird.
Okay, it depends on the brand too.
The whole family tried it, by the way. The whole family tried it that night, and we were all like, what's going on here? Did we just eat sandpaper with our sauce? It was just weird. I don't know. It felt like I had just grabbed a bunch of branches from outside and just started chewing on them. I don't know. It's just crazy. So we were like, okay, we're not going to do that one again. That was tough.
Okay. So you can do also like zucchini noodles mixed with regular noodles. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So again, you're getting your veggies from zucchinis and then you have your regular noodles. So you're not getting as much fiber with the regular noodles, but again, you're balancing it out with zucchini noodles. So if you mix them together, you get really full off of that. So you can do anything like that.
Oh, okay. So have regular pasta with the zucchini mixed in. Okay, that's cool because we have the zucchini noodle maker.
Oh, perfect.
Thingamajiggy.
Put it to work.
Make zucchini spaghetti or whatever it is.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, we'll just mix the two. So that's kind of cool.
You can do that. I'm just looking at the meals that you liked, so we'll see. So that can be one with the salmon, or if you want to do it with chicken, that could be an option. You could also do salmon tacos if you don't want to do that with the noodles. You can do salmon tacos.
Now, can you replace the salmon if you had to, with a fish that isn't so expensive for people who can't, because salmon obviously is a higher priced fish. So what would be the alternative to salmon for somebody who doesn't have the means to, buy a $25?
Yes, it is
type of fish.
I would go with tilapia. That's always a good inexpensive.
Tilapia? Okay, tilapia is good.
Inexpensive. It tastes good. It's really quick to cook, so you can do tilapia as well. You can do tilapia fish tacos if you wanted to eat that this week. That would be a one. And again, it would be...
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea. Yeah.
You could, again, you want to add your veggies somehow, some way. So like the topping could be if you want to do cabbage or lettuce, tomatoes, make your salsa. Again, you're getting your grains from your corn tortillas. You're getting your protein and your fat from your fish, and then you're getting other vitamins and minerals from those toppings. So that would be the best thing. So we got your fish tacos. We got your either chicken or salmon with the noodles. And then I know you said you wanted to do your burger. So again, I'm okay with if you wanted to increase it to 2 patties to keep you a little more full. So that's more than okay. Or again, if, like I said, if you wanted to do it at a lunchtime, you could also do it with the bread, but again, whole grain whole grain, or like those sandwich thins can be an option. And then the Fajita Bowl, again, you can switch out your protein. If you wanted to do beef instead, if you want to do, you can do shrimp if you wanted to. You could even do fish if you wanted to. So whatever protein that you wanted to try, or you could even just do it straight like vegetarian. Just do beans with the vegetables.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
You could try it out.
We're going for that. We're going for that protein. No, I need that. I'm a dinosaur, man. I need a carnivore moment
Well,
just to have even with the salad. Like
I would like you to try your pork chop with the tostones and balance it out with some veggies. I would like to see how that pans out. I'm going to challenge you to that.
That I can do. That I can do. But anything that involves a salad or something like that, I'm not a llama. So like for me, I have to eat some type of meat with the meal. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. So let's do that as your other meal. Your pork chop, tostones, okay. Pick some veggies that pair well with it. All right. So we got your breakfast, your lunch, your dinners, your snacks. Again, I'm going to send you the list of choices that you can choose from, just for time's sake.
Okay.
I'll send that over to you, even with the meals, just so you can, again, learn how to choose the best options to plan that plate and be mindful of your plate. So before we are done, what are any questions? Anything else that you have for me?
I mean, I don't really have questions. I'm just curious. I'm eager to try to see how this part of the process works, because I know this is more giving kind of liberty to me to kind of, pick and choose, and obviously the onus will be on me as to what I put into my system. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be kind of cool, because the first 2 weeks have been very, very structured. This is what you got to eat. There's, that way you can turn around and start getting into a mindset. So to have at least a little bit of liberty to be able to change some of the meals that you were talking about, mm-hmm. will be interesting for that. So, and again, looking forward to that process.
So again, I will be there in the app. You can, send me any messages, and I'll be a lot more active. These are the weeks that I'm more active, because I'm actually going to ask you questions like, okay, what are the portions? Maybe you could have included this to make it a little more healthier. Try that for the next day. So you'll see a lot more, from me these 2 weeks, because again, I'm trying to give you those tools so that way when I back out, you feel prepared and you feel like, okay, I can choose my meals confidently. And that's always the goal.
Okay. Very cool.
All
Very
right.
cool. So I'm excited because we'll see what we do. Next week is when I do the official weigh-in, so to speak. So I'll be posting that. And guys, if you haven't already done so, please do your 15 free minute assessment with Nutrizzy. I guarantee you it is worth it. The 6-week program is actually really good. You get a lot of information for it. Plus you get Izell. So, she's available 24/7. Actually, I'm not going to say that, because you'll have crazy people out there kind of email 3 a.m. in the morning. But I mean, you do get a lot of the things that you will need in order to turn around and be able to start your program and, just kind of start rebuilding the life. I feel a lot healthier. Like I feel a lot more energy. I'm able to do things longer. My concentration is actually longer. I sleep better. So obviously some of the things that we've done here have changed a lot of what I'm doing. If you haven't caught the first 3 episodes, I'm not sure what you're doing. You must be really lazy. There's 3 episodes on the website right now that you can catch, everything from the meal plan, the assessment, and the actual mental awareness that we did with Ryan, which we'll be doing with Ryan again next week as kind of like our final segment before the 6-week ends. And again, catch us on all major networks at Latin Babbler Show. We're on Apple. We're YouTube. That's where you're going to be seeing this interview. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and go follow Nutrizzy. All the information for where to follow them and how to schedule your assessment will be at the bottom of this video in the description and on our website. So I'm the Latin Babbler. I am here with Izell, and we are both out.
Desde Nicaragua hasta Costa Rica, con esta canción todo mundo se identifica. Llamen a los chilenos y a los cubanos, llamen a Puerto Rico y a los mexicanos, que ya se armó la rumba. Desde Panamá hasta Ecuador, vámonos a Perú y luego hasta Salvador. Que se escuche en Brasil y Argentina. Yo quiero un grito de mi gente latina y levantaré mi bandera, estando en mi país o estando allá afuera, porque para mí, mira, no existen fronteras. Yo levantaré mi bandera.